same time, for 69 years, the nation settled down for the Queen's Christmas message. Her delivery became a cornerstone of every Christmas.
Her Majesty was known as One Take Windsor because she's really very, very good at this. And it has a remarkable fluency and pointed accuracy. You can feel that she's talking to you personally.
The Queen delivered her first Christmas message live from Sandringham in 1952. There, her family, like millions of others, would gather to watch as it broadcast to the United Kingdom and Commonwealth.
Did they watch the late Queen? There was a myth they didn't. Of course they did. No, I think they'll get in behind the King. They'll be sitting around with a bucket of Quality Street and critically acclaiming their very own sovereign and grandfather.
Speech out of the way, the royals tick off yet more traditions.
Like a lot of families, after the speech, the royal family are those who can stagger out of the enormous amount of food they've ingested by that point in the day, will put on their wellies and go for a walk around the ground.
The family go for it when it comes to the big outdoors, and they've got 20,000 acres of grounds to go stomping in. Lucky them.
As the sun sets on Sandringham, the Christmas fun continues.
We all think it's terribly formal at Sandringham at Christmas, but in fact they have a very wonderful, relaxed time, just like the rest of us. They play party games.
They would sit down and play board games, play charades. The Queen was an excellent mimic, and it always went down very well.
She used to do a marvellous Margaret Thatcher years ago.
When the Queen Mum was alive, they used to like playing Blind Man's Buff. Apparently, Prince Andrew once said that they don't play Monopoly because it gets a bit too vicious because they're all so competitive.
The younger members of the royal family might stay up till midnight, but even they will be flagging by then. So William and Kate probably drive off back to Anne Hall, and then those staying at Sandringham will probably be all in bed by midnight. After all that feasting that's gone on all day, everyone at the Royal Christmas is absolutely stuffed.
You can't imagine what they have to feel like after that day.
If they make it through to 10 o'clock without falling over in a food coma, I'd be very surprised.
Boxing Day. And after yet another full breakfast, the royals don coats and Wellingtons as they head out to the Sandringham estate.
The men can't wait to get out to the hills. The ladies join them for a lunch, and there's a nice venison stew or a beef stew, mashed potatoes, really good hearty comfort food, because it can be pretty cold out there at Sandringham at Christmas.
The Boxing Day shoot was established in the 19th century and has continued ever since.
Although Sandringham, the house, was bought by Queen Victoria, it's forever associated, I think, with her son, King Edward VII, who developed it, modernised it, and extended it. And he used it mainly as a hunting ground, a shooting ground. In fact, so dedicated was he to the pursuit of shooting that he ordered the clocks in the Sandringham household to be put back by half an hour so that everyone could get up in time during these winter days to get the maximum amount of shooting in.
Is the Boxing Day shoot a tradition continued by even our conservationist king?
I don't think that the great British public will be that surprised to discover that Charles shoots, as does his son William, and we know from Spare his son Harry, shooting from the age of 12. Apparently, shooting in Sandringham was one of the late Queen's happy places.
Once the festivities are over, the guests begin to depart. William and Kate often spend New Year with the Middletons, seeing it in with a cosy house party. In 2023, the King and Queen returned to the traditional New Year's Day church service at Sandringham for the first time in 2 years, before travelling to Birk Hall in Scotland in early January. With the Queen and Prince Philip now sadly gone, Sandringham in the early New Year is a much quieter place, as their absence is felt.
Sandringham, after New Year's, without the Queen, is going to be a very different place. She used to spend weeks there going into February, where she was visiting the local communities and not necessarily doing public events, but very much being seen and being part of it, taking her dogs for a walk and so on in the woods, bumping into local people. And that's going to be very different this year because the royal family will have left. So the Sandringham and the royals aren't quite as embedded in the local community as they were.
One of the Queen's last rituals was to visit the local Women's Institute, where she was a long-standing member.
I think in many ways the late Queen was the face of rural England for so many, and the Women's Institute is this incredibly effective network of organisations that involves women rurally, the length and breadth of the countryside. She embodied the WI, and I think her passing has been a huge loss for them.
The family returned to their lives as working royals, after another Christmas season enjoying all that the Sandringham estate offers, this year hosted by our King. It's the location where royal Christmas celebrations are likely to continue well into the future.
Although it's not that far from London, it's challenging to get to, and it makes it feel like a pilgrimage, a mission. They're tucked away, it's their own secret place.
The royal family is about tradition, all about tradition, hundreds of years of tradition.
The Sandringham Christmases are going to be very special at the moment because they've got young children, and perhaps you're going to have that sense of a magical Christmas that you have only when there's young children around.
Sandringham was a huge part of Charles's childhood, of his life, and it's very important to him to continue that now he is king.
Brand new next Saturday at 9, we're all dreaming of 1981, when swathes of the country actually got that great white Christmas. Now, how do you get a 24-foot Christmas tree into the house? Helps if the house is long leased. See the whole estate transformed for Christmas new tomorrow at 8. Next, keeping up appearances, 30 years of laughs.